Christy, are you there? Did the wedding invite arrive yet? You didn't get back to me on whether you'd be coming or not, so I had no choice but to message you. Huh? What the? Listen to me, Mel. I already made it perfectly clear I had no intention of coming from the get-go, didn't I? Why would you go out of your way to send an invite when you already knew what the answer was? Wow, what am I even reading? This is your own brother's wedding we're talking about here. Of course you're coming. What about your duty to your family? What with the both of your parents having passed away, you'd be the only member of Kyle's family there. Are you really going to let him be all on his own like this? Don't you feel bad for your little brother? I don't need to be lectured about not coming to the wedding by the person who made me want to not come to the wedding in the first place. Besides, Kyle won't be on his own. He'll have you, your family, and his friends there with him. Huh? How did I make you not want to come to the wedding? What are you even talking about? Did you really think I didn't know? Oh, I know what this is about. Being a high school dropout really bothers you, doesn't it, Kirsty? Huh? It's fine, babe. You don't need to worry about that. It's a triviality. Anyway, we don't need you to have brains. Me and Kyle graduated university with flying colors after all, so we've got the intellect and achievement bases covered. Most of my family graduated university too. I totally get why you might feel ashamed and embarrassed about being a high school dropout, but honestly, you don't need to. We're not judging you for it, I promise. We're open-minded and accept people from all walks of life and backgrounds. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that settles it. I'll put you down on the attending list. You can put me on whatever list you like. The bottom line is I'm not coming, and that's final. Yeah, whatever. Quit fooling me around already, Kirsty. You're obviously going to be there to support your little brother. Wow, you seriously don't get it, do you? Have you even realized why I don't want to come in the first place, or did it go straight over your head? Or are you doing this on purpose to tick me off? Yeah, whatever. Ugh, would you quit being so immature already? Anyway, you can say whatever you like. I'm not coming, and that's that. I amaze myself with how clever I am sometimes. It's no surprise I graduated university with brains like these. What are you talking about? I successfully switched jobs to something with better prospects and better pay. You switched jobs? Let's just say some things happened at my old job and I had to quit. I knew me and Kyle would be moving to a different town after the wedding anyway, so I figured I'd use me leaving the old place to find something more local with a more convenient commute. And guess what? A major global company just made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I'm the best. I doubt a high school dropout like you could ever accomplish anything like this. Wow, really? You actually got an offer that fast? You have no idea how hectic it was to find time to fit the interview in with the preparations for the wedding. I felt like I was barely getting time to eat, but boy, am I glad I went. I take it you changed your plans to become a full-time stay-at-home housewife then. Huh? I heard about you bragging to everyone about how you were going to quit your job when you got married because my brother Kyle's filthy rich due to being a top executive at one of America's most prestigious donut companies. That was... Oh, it's fine, Mel. You don't have to try and hide it or make excuses. I already know the reason. Huh? Anyway, I need to head back to work now, so... yeah, bye. I'm not sure I like your tone, Kirsty. This isn't over. Oh, and before I go, I know you can be slow and forgetful what with being a high school dropout and all, so allow me to remind you one more time. You're absolutely, positively, definitely, incontrovertibly, without a shadow of a doubt, coming to our wedding next month. And don't you forget it. It's gonna be a blast, and we wouldn't dream of celebrating without you there to share in our joy. Sis? Hello? The wedding's about to start, you know. Hurry up and get your ass down here. What are you talking about? Like I need to spell it out. Mine and Kyle's wedding is about to start, doofus. Oh, was that today? What? Of course it's today, and you know it. Quit playing dumb. I know you left the house wearing your best clothes this morning, so don't even try to hide it. That reminds me, I heard you moved into one of those apartments that was for sale in my neighborhood. I'm guessing that's how you appear to have been tracking my whereabouts. Jeez, you know, Mel, I was hoping you'd move as far away from me as humanly possible so I'd never have to deal with you again. But you had to go and move in practically next door to me, huh? Hey, wait a sec. No way. Did you get the wedding venue wrong? Huh? The wedding venue. Do you actually know where it is? We're doing it with a company called Matrimonial Magic Makers at their main wedding hall on 5th Street. Matrimonial Magic Makers? Oh, wow, I see. I'm guessing from your response. I knew it. Did you mix up the venue for your own brother's wedding? I guess it can't be helped. I should have written the invite in crayon so even a high school dropout like you could understand it. I'm pretty sure I already made this clear, but I had no intention of coming to the wedding to begin with, so there was no need for me to check where it was being held. Huh? I never planned on coming, so why would I waste my time? Waste your time? Mine and your brother's wedding is not a waste of time. I didn't bother to look at the date either. I'm at work today and I have a bunch of meetings with several important clients. That's the only reason I'm dressed especially smartly. Gotta make sure I leave a good impression, you know? Oh my God, are you serious? Hang on a sec, were you trying to pull a trick on me by intentionally writing the wrong wedding venue on my invite so I'd show up at the wrong place? You wouldn't do something so childish, would you, Mel? No way! I hit the nail on the head, huh? But now that I think about it, if you're getting married today, I take it you'll be absent from the new employee training session today then? What the hell? Today was supposed to be your first day at your new job, wasn't it? We generally train up new employees for the week before they officially start. But since you got hired outside of our usual hiring season, the plan was to train you up officially starting from your first day, today. You were made aware of the schedule over text and email, Mel. There was no reason you couldn't have let us know you wouldn't be able to make it. But it's a Sunday today. Well, the industry we work in isn't as subject to the weekday-weekend cycle as most others, which means a good chunk of our departments run just like normal on Sundays. What? It just so happens that your department is one of the many that work weekends. This, in combination with the fact that you were made aware you were supposed to be here, means there's no excuse for your absence. My coworker, the guy in charge of providing the newbie training, just sent me a message. The training course for our midterm recruitment newbies starts today. Can you believe one of them didn't show up on her very first day? Geez, Kirsty, where do we find these people? I won't send what came after that, but needless to say, he is furious. I think I did get some kind of training schedule over mail. Wait, are you telling me that was actually the schedule? I thought the part where it said I was in today was a mistake. If you thought it was a mistake, why didn't you make an inquiry? Surely that would have been the reasonable thing to do in this situation. 'Cause who the hell works on a Sunday? I figured it must have meant Monday, so I just ignored it. I was ready to come in tomorrow. Would you mind bearing with me for a little while, Mel? Thanks. I just checked with my coworker, and it turns out your shift today most definitely wasn't a data entry mistake. Huh? How the hell would you know that? Because my boss received a copy of the same training schedule that was sent out to all the newbies, and he just showed it to me. Huh? There are about half a dozen newbies starting today, and a few of them are going to be assigned to my department, which means my boss has access to all of the relevant materials. Wait, what the? Hang on a sec. Your boss? I thought you seemed weirdly knowledgeable about the inner workings of the company. Hang on, are you? Yep, bingo. I take it the penny finally dropped then? I work as a full-time employee at the company you received a provisional offer at. Oh my God, are you serious? Don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing to do with HR, which means I was astonished when I found out my little brother's soon-to-be wife just got assigned to my department. Anyway, we'll have to get this situation sorted out soon. What's it gonna be, Mel? What do you mean? Whether you go through with your wedding is, of course, entirely up to you, but you should know it'll mean going down on the system as an absence without notification on your first day of work, no less. Basically, it's going to mean you failed to attend the first day of your mandatory employee training course without good reason, and since the offer you received was provisional, is all but guaranteed to mean your chances of getting a full-time contract are pretty much zero. I won't fall for this. I know you're trying to trick me. Excuse me? Trick you? It's so obvious. I can read you like a book. This is clearly nothing but a huge crock of bullshit you cooked up in desperation to avoid the shame and embarrassment of admitting you got the venue for your own brother's wedding wrong. This is why you can't trust a high school dropout with anything. Oh, you're free to interpret this whole situation like that if it makes you feel better, but I think you're aware of how ridiculous the situation that I'd make something like this up is, Mel. No, it makes perfect sense. Anyway, this is your fault for not giving mine and your brother's wedding your blessing in the first place. If you would have just fulfilled your goddamn duty as his sister to begin with, none of this would be happening. How exactly do you work that one out? Your wedding and today's newbie training have nothing to do with each other. Even if I had gone to the wedding, you would have still been expected to be in today as long as you didn't inquire about your misunderstanding over which day it was on. So why won't you come to the wedding? You're the only family Kyle has left now that your parents are dead. Are you really gonna make me explain it to you? Yes, because none of this makes any frickin' sense. For real? Like, are you being serious right now? Whatever, you know what? It seems like you genuinely don't understand. Fine, it can't be helped. My brother Kyle was originally engaged to Michaela, your older sister, right? But you stole him from her by having an affair with him behind her back. So what? What's your point? Me and Kyle love each other, and that's all that matters. Who are you to try and stand in our way by dragging up the past like this? I'm not holding the fact you and my brother developed feelings for each other against you. It was the letting it develop into a full-blown affair while he was still engaged part that was despicable. Any decent human being would have waited until he'd broken off the engagement, or simply let go if he wasn't willing to. Huh? Naturally, I think you're despicable after demonstrating your absolute lack of virtue and moral fiber by tempting my brother into having an affair with you when you knew full well he was engaged to your sister. But I am also disgusted with my brother for meeting you halfway. If he has half a spine or a modicum of decency in him, he would have told you where to stick your seedy solicitations faster than you could say seedy two-bit whore. Which is why I was obviously never going to show up to the wedding, and to be honest, why I never want anything to do with either of you again for as long as I live. Besides, I already said all of this to Kyle. He knows I despise him and was never under any illusion I'd be at the wedding. So it genuinely baffles me that you didn't seem to get the message. Huh? You see, Kyle and I lost our parents in a traffic accident when I was still in high school. He was still in elementary school at the time, so I had no choice but to drop out so I could take care of him. I gave my everything to give him the best shot I possibly could at making something of his life. And how did he repay me? By coldly betraying your sister, one of the loveliest, most kind-hearted people I know, in the cruelest, most hurtful way possible. Huh? Anyway, Mel, it's time to make a decision. What's it going to be? Shall we go with an unpermitted absence from your first day at work and the beginning of your training course? Hello? Are you there? Why isn't there anybody here? Huh? I was messaging you in the bride's waiting room this whole time. I could hear some noise coming from the main hall around 20 minutes ago, but it was distracting me from our conversation, so I just locked the door and carried on talking to you. But I just got a message from Kyle saying nobody showed up to the wedding. Forget my friends, even my family and relatives didn't bother showing up. Where is everyone? Oh, I see. I wondered why you suddenly stopped replying. How would I know why no one showed up at your wedding? I didn't even know where it was being held or which day it was on, remember? But this makes no sense. There were supposed to be at least 30 people coming. And did you receive return letters confirming their attendance after sending out invites to all 30 of them? Of course I did. Like I'd forget something so simple. What the hell do you take me for? I see. Well, in that case, and this is just speculation, but is it possible they all agreed to cancel at the last minute behind your back? What? Why the heck would they do something like that? That's crazy. I won't say exactly who I heard this from. Let's just say it was a friend's brother's dog. But the word on the street is that you've always had a habit of stealing other women's boyfriends, and that you're not exactly the most popular girl in town, even among the people you call friends. Apparently everyone's been pretty cold towards Kyle since word got out he cheated on your sister with... Listen, Mel, I didn't come up with this. I'm just passing on the message, but apparently their nickname for you is the Town Whore. Oh my God, that's my nickname? And none of them showed up to my wedding? Ugh, this can't be happening. So yeah, I'm just speculating, but based on what I've heard, I'd say that's a pretty likely explanation for your current situation, wouldn't you? But I could always be wrong, there are other possibilities, so you really should get some confirmation before you go off and do anything rash. Oh my god, does everyone really hate me that much? This can't be happening, I was supposed to have a fairy tale wedding! About an hour after our last message, a woman in a wedding dress barged past security and sprinted up the stairs to our office as if she was possessed by some kind of demonic spirit. Needless to say, the police were called. The sight of Mel yelling, "I'm here for my training!" at the top of her lungs while being restrained by the slightly embarrassed security guard she blitzed past like a whirlwind only a minute before was one I'll never forget. It turned out my theory about the wedding guests plotting to cancel on Mel and my brother at the last minute was right on the mark. Apparently realizing they were no longer going to get any wedding gifts, they canceled the wedding and incurred a massive same-day cancellation fee. That, in combination with the compensation they both already owed Mel's older sister for the affair, must have been why Mel was so desperate not to lose her new job. She was so desperate, in fact, that she completely forgot to get changed and showed up at the office flailing around like an escaped mental patient in a wedding dress. Naturally, everyone at the company was mortified by the bizarre spectacle unfolding before their eyes, and she was fired right then and there. As for Kyle, he quit the same week, unable to bear now being the butt of every joke and the subject of every hushed conversation in the cafeteria. Last I hear, Mel and Kyle are currently spending their days in a cheap cockroach-infested apartment in the rough part of town while working like dogs to pay off their exorbitant debts.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Yo, Vicky! Today's the day my work transfer finally ends. It's gonna suck so bad leaving you behind here. I never expected to meet anyone while I was out here, let alone us ending up pretty much living together. Life can surprise you like that sometimes, huh?
Tyrone, I'm gonna be lonely without you too, baby. Do you really have to go back to live with your wife? I know she's waiting for you, but I'd rather keep you all to myself.
Unfortunately, babe, yes I do. My boss told me I'd only be staying here for a year, and they want me back at HQ tomorrow, so there really ain't much I can do about it.
I see. I doubt we'll be able to see each other much once you go home. We will still be able to see each other sometimes, won't we, sweetie pie?
Listen, babe, it sucks for me too, but to tell you the absolute truth, I honestly don't know. If my work transfer ended up getting extended, my wife said she planned on selling the house in Wyoming and moving up here to live with me.
I see. Well, that reminds me, didn't you say your wife is a pharmacist? This is just a hunch, but I bet she wouldn't have to look very hard to find a job up here. The thing is, if she came here, we really would never be able to see each other. We'd constantly be tiptoeing around, worried about being found out.
Right, that's why I think it's best I just go home and carry on playing happy families just like normal. At least for the time being. Don't get me wrong, babe, it completely sucks that we're not going to be able to see each other, but we need to think carefully about how we play this and not do anything rash.
You're right. I can't argue with that.
Don't worry, Vicky. My heart's set on you and ain't nothing going to change that. I know it's not going to be easy for us to be apart, but I want you to believe in me. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can. I'm waiting for you, Tyrone. Hi, Tyrone. Are you there? You're supposed to be getting back soon, right? Did your train leave on time?
Oh, it's you. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, I'm on the train as we speak. There were some delays early on. Apparently some suicidal lunatic jumped out onto the tracks and, well, yeah. Also, I'm gonna stop off at Company HQ to see Chris and the boss before heading home.
Damn, that's gruesome. I always wonder why suicidal folk do that. Like, could they not do it somewhere that doesn't mess with everyone's schedules and traumatize the train driver? All right, no problem. I can't believe the day has finally come. You were up in Michigan a whole year. How crazy is that? I know we've been doing lots of video calls, but is it weird I feel kind of nervous about seeing you again? I thought you'd at least come back for birthdays and Christmas, but I guess that turned out to be a little difficult for you.
You're really gonna drag this up again? What's your point?
I'm not trying to drag anything up. I guess it just hit me how busy you actually were when you decided not to come back for special occasions like you said you would. You were even too worn out for me to fly over to you, even though I would have been happy to. You specifically told me not to come because you weren't feeling up to it, right? You really must have been seriously busy this last year. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I find your work ethic really admirable, Tyrone.
Yeah, I guess I have been busy. Thanks.
Okay, well, be careful on the way home, sweetie. I'll see you soon. Tyrone, my delightful, precious sugar dumpling. I can't take the loneliness. I need you here in my arms.
Vicky, my sweet treacle muffin, my sugary pumpkin pie, my darling angel, my dearest love. The ache of loneliness weighs upon my heart like 1,000 burdensome clouds, casting shadows upon the tender garden of my soul. If only I knew how good we had it when I was up there for my work transfer. Who would have thought having a home to go back to could feel so painful and lonely? I might be in this house with my wife, but you're the only one that's on my mind.
Tyrone, that's it. I've made my decision.
What decision?
I'm gonna move to Wyoming so I can be close to you.
You're gonna do what now?
Don't worry. Of course I'll choose where I move wisely so as not to arouse any suspicion from your wife. I just want to be near you, baby. That's all. I know this might sound sudden, but actually, it's been on my mind for a little while. I promise I'll take in your opinion and do it as cautiously as possible. Luckily, I work from home as a freelancer. I figure what's the point in having such a flexible job if I'm not going to use it to be with the most special man in the whole wide world?
Vicky, you do that? For me?
I'd walk to the ends of the earth and back for you, my snugglebug cupcake. I love you.
I love you, my cuddle bunny boo.
Hey, Tyrone. Turns out I'm going to be doing a spot of overtime today. Sorry, but I'm not going to be able to make your supper. There are some leftover cheesy potatoes in the fridge, or you could make something yourself. Or maybe even get takeout if you're not feeling up to it. Hey, what's with you? I can see you read my messages. You could at least say okay or react in some way. Why are you ignoring me? You've always had a tendency to ignore me when you get in a mood about something. Sometimes you even ignore me for 1 or 2 days at a time. Hasn't it been going on a little too long this time? You've been ignoring me ever since you got back from Michigan. It's been a whole month now. Like, are you seriously doing this? You are aware of what you're doing, right? I know there's no way you're not. I haven't heard a single word out of you since you walked through the front door, not even a "honey, I'm home," not to mention completely blanking my messages. I have absolutely no idea what I've done to upset you this time. If I've done something wrong, then tell me and let's talk it through. It's not like I'm not willing to admit fault if I did something, but it's impossible for me to know if you don't say anything. Can't you at least explain what's wrong?
Aha, my strategy's working.
Ooh, what strategy? Tell me.
My strategy to mentally and emotionally exhaust my wife by flat out ignoring her. The plan is to drive her to the breaking point until she gets so sick of it all, she divorces me.
You are absolutely devilish, Tyrone. The things we do for love. It sounds like it's going well.
Yup, everything is going according to plan. It looks like the soul-crushing sense of guilt is already starting to torment her.
Good. That's what she gets for stealing my man from me. I don't think we're doing anything bad. Our happiness is what comes first, after all, right?
If we're gonna frame it in terms of right and wrong, my wife's definitely the one in the wrong for not divorcing me earlier and forcing me to resort to strategies to make her hurry up and take the hint. When you think about it, she's kind of like the final boss in the way of our love.
You're right.
It's gonna take a little bit longer to get rid of her for good, but this is where our patience counts more than ever. The finish line's in sight, baby, so let's play this as safe as we possibly can.
Sure thing, baby. You're my heartthrob, and I'd do anything for you. Oh, that reminds me. It looks like I'm going to be able to move over to Wyoming at the beginning of next month.
Ah, nice. You work fast.
Well, I don't know about that. It did take me a whole month to decide on the place, but I figured since me and you are gonna end up living together there soon enough, I had to make sure it was nice. Want to know a little secret? I ordered us the biggest, most luxurious double bed money can buy. I can't wait for you to ravage me on it, stud muffin.
Stop it, babe. You're gonna get me all excited. I'm gonna make sweet, tender love to you like you've never been loved before when I finally see you again, my sexy little munchkin.
Calm down, stallion. It's still too early.
I can't take it anymore. Are you free to meet up this weekend?
Huh?
I'll be going into work on my day off this Saturday. I have a meeting with a customer a little out of town, which means I'll be driving for a while. How about me and you arrange a little rendezvous while I'm at it? By my calculations, I'll have 2 hours before I need to get back. What do you say, Vicky? How about a little secret encounter?
Oh my, Tyrone, you're terrible. Say no more. I'll be waiting for you, Daddy. Tyrone, will you be late home again today? You know what, I don't even know why I bother asking. You're clearly just gonna keep ignoring me. I did hear you were expecting a lot of overtime for the first month or two after you got back from your work transfer in Michigan, but I hardly even see you at home these days. I don't know if it's because you're intentionally coming home after you know I'll be asleep to avoid me, but this isn't normal. I barely ever see you. You flat out blank me on the rare occasion that I do, and you completely ignore all of my messages. If you hate me that much, how about you say it to my face instead of escaping like a spineless little weasel? I am beyond sick of this, Tyrone. I won't put up with it for much longer. I have some things to take care of at my mom and dad's place, so I'll be staying there tonight. Goodbye.
Hey there, my cuddly little cupcake.
Hey, Tyrone. You finished with your overtime now?
Yep, all done. I'm on my way to you as we speak.
I just finished work, too.
Oh, by the way, do you mind if I stay over at your place tonight?
Don't be silly, baby. You know you're always welcome here. But what about your wife?
She said something about staying over at her parents' place tonight, so she won't be around at the house to know I'm not home.
Wow, really?
That's why you're all mine tonight. I hope you're ready, because you're barely going to be able to walk by the time I'm done with ya, pumpkin pie.
Oh, baby, that's music to my ears. I'm gonna jump in the shower. I'll be waiting on the bed for you in my special bunny lingerie when you get here, my rugged love muffin.
I'm sprinting over to your place so fast, they're going to start calling me Usain Bolt.
So her name is Vicky, is it? A freelance manga translator on a middling income. You met her when you were living in Michigan for work. She was your next-door neighbor in the apartment block your company had you stay in. Apparently you were pretty much living together by the time you had to come back here. And now, apparently unaware to bear being apart from you, Vicky moved here to Wyoming in a little apartment near Bakewell Station, which is where your trysts now exclusively take place, including the one you're having right now.
Huh? Wait a sec, what the...
The reason you've been flat out ignoring me for so long was because it was a strategy to push me to my emotional breaking point until I got so exhausted with it all, I felt like I had no choice but to divorce you. That's what you're waiting for, isn't it? I think that just about summarizes the situation, right? Did I miss anything?
Sarah?
I guess you were trying to avoid having to pay me compensation?
I ain't got no heckin' idea what you're talking about. Sure, I think maybe I do remember there being a Vicky next door back in Michigan, but we didn't have anything to do with each other beyond being neighbors, and we sure as hell don't see each other now.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, I forgot to tell you this, what with being constantly ignored all the time, but I got transferred to the pharmacy by Bakewell Station about a month ago.
Huh?
It turns out I can see the road that leads to Vicky's apartment through the front window.
You can?
When I first saw you together, I thought maybe she was one of your clients because I know you often do the rounds away from the office, but by the third or fourth sighting, I knew something fishy was going on. Then one day, when my mind was full of doubts, I saw the two of you walking by just as I was getting off work, so I decided to go ninja mode and follow you.
You followed us?
That was when I saw you going into her apartment together. I don't think I've ever seen you go inside a front door that fast in my life. Looking forward to something, were you?
That
was about a month and a half ago. I was pretty damn certain you were cheating on me by that point, but after speaking to my parents and brother, they recommended I gathered incontrovertible proof of what you were doing before confronting you. And that's when I decided to hire a private investigator who specializes in catching cheaters.
You hired a frickin' private investigator?
Everything I just sent you was from the investigation results report. Turns out he's very good at his job.
Oh my God. Hey, this isn't fair. I did my best to come up with a way we could divorce smoothly and painlessly, God damn it. You hired a freaking professional? I can't believe you.
Isn't it normal to hire a private investigator when you suspect your husband of cheating on you? Evidence is important, and I wasn't about to risk letting you know I knew by trying to tail you myself. Anyway, divorce smoothly and painlessly? What the hell's that supposed to mean? Don't act like you cared about not hurting me. This was nothing but a ploy to get me to divorce you while hiding your affair to get out of paying me compensation. Whatever. It doesn't matter now. So if I were you, I wouldn't even bother wasting the effort it takes to try and worm your way out of it. We're getting a divorce, and that's that.
What?
By the way, have you noticed yet? Today marks the 3rd month of you flat out ignoring me.
Wow. 3 months.
I guess you got so wrapped up in your affair, you totally lost track of time. Anyway, don't worry, because you finally got your wish. I'm divorcing you.
Hang on a sec here, Sarah, please.
I already moved back in with my parents.
Whoa. Say what now? This is all happening too fast.
Is that so? I didn't exactly move yesterday, Tyrone. I had all my stuff moved from the house when I found out you were cheating on me a month ago. I haven't been there for ages now.
Huh? Your stuff is gone?
Were you so absorbed in your affair you didn't notice half of the rooms in our house were empty?
No,
Whatever, it really doesn't matter anymore. Goodbye forever.
What the fuck? Wait a sec. Holy hell. Am I really this screwed?
Tyrone! What is happening? What's this weird envelope that showed up in my mailbox? I thought it must be a case of mistaken identity, but when I opened it, it said I have to pay a frickin' compensation?
Vicky, it's my wife. She found out about us. She knows everything.
What? How?
She told me she saw us going into your apartment a month ago. You know, not long after you moved in there. God damn it, I'm so screwed.
You're screwed? No, I'm screwed. But wait a second, how is this possible? We were so careful. We picked the place by Bakewell Station intentionally because it was so far away from anywhere your wife goes. We literally couldn't have been more careful. How could she possibly know? And this quickly? Something doesn't add up here. Explain.
You know my wife's a pharmacist, right? Well, she got transferred to the pharmacy by Bakewell Station recently.
Huh?
Apparently she saw us because the road that leads to your apartment is right in front of the front window of the pharmacy. She had a full view of us walking by together every time. That's what she told me just now.
Oh my god. You better be freaking joking me, Tyrone. If this isn't all some kind of weird prank, I am seriously gonna lose my head. Do you have any idea how much money I spent to move here to be with you? I am flat out broke now. There is no way I can afford to pay compensation.
But, Think about it, baby. It's not so bad. Sure, we might end up having to pay her a little something, but at least she's finally divorcing me now. This is what we've been waiting for all along, right? Surely the compensation is a small price to pay for our love.
That having to pay her a little something is exactly what we were so careful to try and avoid all this time, you doofus. And it's not a small price. She's demanding a frickin' arm and a leg here.
Hey, don't call me that. I mean, sure, things didn't exactly go as we planned, but at least we still have each other, right?
We're finished.
What?
I said we're finished. Me and you are through, so you can pay my share of the compensation.
What the hell? Are you being serious right now? You're just gonna dodge responsibility the moment things get tough?
We're not together anymore, so I don't have any responsibility to you.
No, we're not finished.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not!
I am absolutely not paying a single cent of this goddamn compensation, you low-life jerk. As our two former lovers were locked in a bitter feud, both of their parents paid me their share of the compensation in a lump sum on their behalves, promising to make their wayward children pay them it all back. With that, I filed the divorce papers and things finally calmed down. It felt great to finally wash my hands of the waste of space known as Tyrone, whom I allowed to steal so many years of my life, and I breathed a sigh of relief knowing I'd never have to deal with him ever again. From that point onwards, nothing that happened to him was my problem. Amazingly, I found out later on that his ex-lover Vicky got fired from her job. I guess it's only natural her boss was a little pissed off when he found out she'd been using their company car for her secret trysts with my ex-husband. Word is, it was the stains on the back seat that gave them away. Last I hear, they're both working several part-time jobs to come up with the crazy amounts of debt they owe their parents. As for Vicky, she got so absorbed in the affair that she started neglecting her freelance work, which meant her income took a massive hit. Still, that doesn't change the fact that she had to pay her parents back. Feeling lost and desperate, she felt she had no choice but to turn to nighttime work. Apparently these days, she spends her evenings on street corners waiting for seedy old men to pick her up. Thanks for watching, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to help the channel out by liking and subscribing. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We can't wait to see you again next time.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.